All right, today we're going to talk about something we do every single day, but maybe don't think about enough: communication. I mean, this is the stuff that literally builds our relationships, our careers, even how we see the world. So, you ready? Let's dive in.
So picture this. You're sitting in a job interview, right? On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, just questions and answers. But underneath, oh, there's this whole complex dance going on with words, body language, the whole shebang. We're going to use this high-stakes scenario to really decode the science of how we connect with each other.
So, first things first, what is communication really? I know, it sounds super obvious, but when you actually dig in, it's this incredibly fascinating web of interactions. So, let's get a good, solid definition to guide us through this.
Okay, so here's the official definition, but I want you to focus on that key phrase, generating shared meaning. See, that's the magic right there. This isn't just about me talking at you or sending information your way. It's about us together building a bridge of understanding. We're creating something new together.
And this is where it gets real. Let's go back to that interview. That firm handshake you give, that's communication. The resume you spent hours perfecting, communication. Heck, even if you're nervously tapping your foot under the table, guess what? That is also communication. Every single detail is sending a message, whether you mean for it to or not.
Okay, so if communication is this big, complex thing, what's it actually made of? Let's break it down into what I like to call the 7 essential ingredients. Think of it like a recipe for every single conversation you will ever have.
All right, here they are: participants, symbols, the process of encoding and decoding. Don't worry, we'll explain that. The channel, feedback, and this really important one, noise. Now, don't even try to memorize this list. We're going to walk through each one using our job interview example, and it'll all make perfect sense.
Okay, let's start with the easy ones. The participants? Well, that's you and the interviewer. Simple enough, right? And the symbols? Those are the tools you're using. It's the words coming out of your mouth, for sure, but it's also that suit you chose to wear. That suit is a symbol, and it's screaming, "I'm a professional," before you even say hello.
Next up, the channel. That's just how the message is getting across. In our interview, it's face-to-face, which is like the richest channel you can get. You've got tone of voice, body language, everything. And what about when the interviewer gives you a little nod while you're talking? That's feedback. And that little nod is so important. It turns a monologue into a dialogue. It tells you, yep, keep going, I'm with you.
All right, now let's talk about the thing that can wreck it all: noise. And there are 2 kinds. You've got external noise. That's the obvious stuff, like people talking loudly outside the office. But then there's internal noise. And honestly, this is usually the bigger problem. It's that voice in your head worrying about the exam you have later, or stressing about whether you're saying the right thing. That internal chatter can be way more distracting than any siren.
You know, the way we think about communication hasn't always been the same. It's actually evolved a ton over the years. So let's take a quick trip through time and look at the 3 big models that show how we went from thinking of it as a simple radio broadcast to, well, something much, much bigger. So way back when, the first idea was something called the linear model. It's super simple. A sender shoots a message to a receiver, one way. Think of an old school radio broadcast. The DJ talks, you listen, there's no talking back. It's a useful starting point, but it's obviously missing a huge piece of the puzzle, right? Then we got a little smarter with the interactive model. This was a huge leap. It finally added feedback. So now it's less like a one-way street and more like a game of catch. I send you a message, you catch it, and you send one back. We're taking turns, we're interacting, we're getting closer to how it really works, but we're not quite there yet.
And then we have the transactional model. And folks, this one is the real game changer. This is where our understanding gets really sophisticated. It says we're not just taking turns playing catch. We are sending and receiving messages at the exact same time. Think about it. While you're talking in that interview, you're also watching the interviewer's face, reading their body language, and adjusting what you say on the fly. It's happening all at once. This model changes everything.
And what makes the transactional model so powerful is that it brings context into the picture. And there are 3 big types. You've got the social context, the unspoken rules of an interview, like be professional. Then there's relational context. Maybe you've met the interviewer before. That changes things. And finally, cultural context, which recognizes that our backgrounds, our identities, they shape every single word we say and hear.
And this quote right here just nails it. We don't communicate about our realities. Communication helps to construct our realities. Just let that sink in for a second. It means every conversation you have isn't just you talking about the world. It's you with someone else actively building the world. You're building your relationships, your reputation, your future, one conversation at a time.
Okay, so that idea that we're literally building our realities with communication, that's huge, right? So let's zoom out from our one-on-one interview and look at the 4 big arenas where this construction project is happening all the time.
So here they are, the 4 main forms. You've got interpersonal, that's you and one other person, building relationships. Group communication is what happens in a team meeting, trying to reach a goal. Public is like giving a presentation, one person speaking to many. And mass communication, well, that's what's happening right now, using technology to send a message out to a huge audience.
All right, we've covered a lot of the what and the how. We've got the theory down. Now for the really important part. How do you actually use all this to get better at it? Let's open up the toolkit and give you some practical strategies. So the ultimate goal here, the thing we're all striving for, is called communication competence. And look, this isn't about being some perfect, slick talker. It's about knowing what's appropriate, what's ethical, and what's effective in any situation, and then actually being able to do it. It's where knowledge meets action.
But let's be real. There's a big, scary monster that often gets in the way. It's called communication apprehension. That's the fancy term for that sweaty-palmed, heart-racing fear we feel before a big presentation or a job interview. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
The good news is it's totally normal, and you can absolutely learn to manage it. So, here are 7 rock-solid ways to tame that anxiety. First, just know you're not alone. Pretty much everyone gets nervous. Second, breathe. Seriously, deep breaths can physically calm your body down. Third, look the part. When you feel confident in how you look, it radiates. Fourth, practice. Run through your answers with a friend. Fifth, keep it in perspective. This one interview is not the end-all be-all. Sixth, visualize success. Actually picture yourself acing it. And number 7, the most important one, prepare, prepare, prepare. Nothing beats fear like being totally ready.
So there you have it. We've gone from the basic ingredients of communication all the way to a practical toolkit for mastering it. You now know that every time you speak, you're not just talking, you're co-creating a reality. So my question to you is, with these tools in your pocket, how are you going to approach your next important conversation? Thanks for tuning in.